사람 이렇게 강량한 데서 피크닉을. 와, 근데 공원이 진짜 넓긴 하다.
Hey, Kagaimasu.
Can I get one
This
tender?
one? Yes.
Yeah.
Cold with brown rice. You can do this double.
Thank you.
또 있구나. 수도 있었구나.
Let's meet down at the lonely lake. 신입 속인가? 아. 카레 냄새가.
あります。
さあ焼き豚も最後。
ケーキのまま1個と、あと形崩れてしまったものになるんですけれども。
さあどうぞ最後。
学生
日本。
何しに日本に来たの？
ああ、すいません、私。もうございます。
ジャパニーズ目指し目指しお魚
ありがとう。
目指し苦いよ苦い
苦い。
東京は何日ぐらい何日 How long stay Japan?
4 days.
4 days
Monday to Thursday.
Student 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 というと学生
学生。trip. 桜。
ギリギリだね
の前に私は見に行きました。
井の頭公園
犬しかだけ。
それから
目黒リード。
千鳥ヶ淵 上のはね、わーだね、こういう。弘前、青森。函館五稜郭。
はい。あ、すごい。あ、はい。
Wash your hands? Yes. There's a toilet shops.
Yeah.
Cut the fish, and after that, it's all yours.
Oh, nice.
I would say tuna.
Okay. What about?
Maybe all of them, but
Yeah, right?
yeah, salmon. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
salmon.
good, yeah.
So today we're gonna make more like a nigiri. I'm gonna show you how to cut the fish. First fish, this fish is called sea bream. Just put a knife. So that you don't see what I do.
I think I messed up.
Fingers, you can flip it. So in order to make that happen, you.
So dig in?
Because of the snow, we learned.
This one is very popular, and I think this one is similar to makgeolli.
It looks similar.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Also, how they make it. That's great. 200 years ago, and that's why. Oh, it's gonna be massive.
Yeah, the cutting's definitely the hardest part.
はいよ、よろしく。レジもお願い。ミルク OK？ 尿内の。はい、お待たせしました。
はい、ノーミックスで。はい、ありがとうございます。はい、終わりました。はい、いつ直していいですか？
ありがとうございます。
山椒好きだから。確かに山椒好きだから。
Said that you felt lost 100 times before, going in circles on a one-way street, running till your feet get sore. But I guess you haven't heard, you've been get around no more. Things are about to get much better, so I wanna make this forever.
どうぞ。ありがとうございます。
เอาใหญ่ก็แบ่งกัน
チーズ、タコ、ごぼう、アスパラガス。
アスパラガス。
アスパラガス？オッケー。600。はい。どうぞいらっしゃい。ありがとうございます。はい、どうぞいらっしゃい。どうぞ。
炸鸡里来了，就是红红的那个姜丝。
はい、ありがとうございます。
나폴리탄 드링크 세트. 아, 메론 소다. 감사합니다. 아, 비포. 진짜 예쁘다.
Stepping out of the shadow in my room, caught between cowboy clouds and misty moon. Silver dress, sparkle lights, crystal blue. I was lost to the menace of the mind, sucker punched part of most of my life. Told myself I would always toe the line.